Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since the dawn of creation, not only are we both here, we're on time. Okay, maybe it's not the first time, but it seems like
It's been a while.
it seems like it never happens. So I honestly thought I was going to be late today because I was getting my stuff together to come out here at about 10 minutes to 4, thinking, oh, that'll give me plenty of time to get everything set up and working and stuff. And I had a little task that I got pulled into, which took longer than I thought. And then I came out here and everything needed to be updated. And that's always scary right before a stream. But hey, here we are. I punched the button at 4:30. I realized there's a 30-second countdown, and there's a YouTube delay in there somewhere. But here we are. And if you don't know who we are, I'm Glenn from Fun King 3D, and with me, of course, as always, is my brother from another mother, James from Print N Play.
How's everybody doing?
What did I say when you logged in today? My brohas from another mohas.
My brohas from another mohas.
I don't know if that's offensive to your mom, though. I don't know what a mohas is.
She doesn't watch this anyways.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all good. So,
I'm just quickly taking a look at. I might as well jump into my current rant. I bought a motherboard, processor, and RAM combo off of eBay for a project that I'm working on, and it just showed up, and one of the SATA ports is just snapped right off of it. So I can show now. I don't think this will give any information out. You can see on there are in fact
let me put you full screen.
So on my personal camera there, you can see there are in fact 4 SATA ports in that picture.
Oh, okay, that's the picture, the seller's picture.
That's and I'm trying to see. Yeah, they had a quantity of them available. I'm just going to check the description to see. Yeah, features, and it says 4 SATA ports.
Well, and they're not going to tell you it features 3.5 SATA ports.
It says it's a grade B item. Item will be in perfect working order. However, it will have some small signs of wear, which will not affect usage. Well,
that absolutely affects usage.
And like, I'll send it back at their cost if they won't give me a discount on it. But it's not, like as long as the other ones work, I actually only need one. But
right, but you want what you paid for. You want what was promised to you.
So I think there you can see, right, that there's one missing SATA port that's got just the metal contacts there.
Yeah, for those of you looking, it would be to the right of the front white port.
Yeah.
There's 2 black ones to the right of there, and the one closest to the camera.
The plastic surrounding is gone, and it's just left the contacts.
It's annihilated.
I can probably go, like, if I want to fix it, I've got boards that are dead. I can probably pry one of the plastics off of it and slide it down.
Yeah, but I'd hit them up. I'd hit them up for a refund or at least a discount first.
Yeah.
So let me run down the chat real quick. Builder's Mark gets bragging rights. He says 2 hours later. I don't know what that means. I don't see anything before that. So again, if anybody posted before that, sad. Sorry, but it doesn't work. Alan Osborne is also here. Mitch 3D says he promised a Twitch stream today, but glad to see us guys for a little bit. Well, you can promise Twitch streams anytime you want, but 4:30 to 6:30 Eastern Standard Time is our time slot.
Now you made a powerful enemy today.
You get what I'm saying?
I think what I'll do is I will post this before I contact them, because it also may not post.
So that might be a good plan too. Yeah. Anyway, Felipe is here. Felipe, we haven't seen you in a long time. I actually mentioned you last week that it's about time for you to guest host again. You haven't done it in quite some time. Tom Elrod is here. Ollie is here. Scott Hack Monkey is here. Local Maker Michigan is here. Sergio HVAC A to Z is here. Chris Lane is here. I get to see Chris Lane next weekend.
Chris Lane in the membrane.
Brian is here. Paul Cumber is here. Builder's Mark is here again. And Brian is here again. So, so much going on. Went to church this morning. They changed our church schedule. There was 2 church services, a 9 and a 10:30. and nobody was going to the 9, which is why I went to the 9. It was great. There was hardly anybody in there, but apparently there were so many people at the 10:30 service that people were getting turned away. Like new people would come in, there'd be standing room only, and they wouldn't stay. So, which isn't good for a church. I mean, I guess that's a good reputation. Like, wow, you guys are packed, but then people don't stay. So they decided to shift everything a half hour forward in hopes that the people who usually would come to the 10:30 would then come to the earlier service. I hate it. I would rather it be earlier, but whatever. They're not catering to me. They don't owe it to me. It's fine. House was packed, but we had no power this morning. Apparently, a transformer had exploded and the church had no power. So the beginning was interesting, though the power did recover right as service was starting. But I got another surprise. That's where this story was really going. I don't normally fill you guys in on my church days, but Uncle Ron is here, which is exciting. Except for Uncle Ron is here because Poppy Ron is in the hospital.
Oh,
They did. I don't want to give too much away because I didn't ask Uncle Ron how much I could say, but he did have to have surgery. He is doing better. They finally got him out of bed today and into a chair. His blood pressure has been a little bit wonky, but they're okay with it. The hospital is. So Uncle Ron did spend some time with me this afternoon. However, it was time for him to go back over to the hospital, which I totally understand, or he would have been here in the studio today. So that's been a day. And then, of course, as a reminder, next week there will not be a stream unless James decides to do it by himself. It's really tough to do it by yourself, James. I have Maker Faire. Orlando Maker Faire is next weekend, so super excited for that. Felipe, will you be coming to Orlando Maker Faire this year?
you may already have told me that, but I did not know, so I probably will not be streaming, I don't think. Especially since it's usually on your channel, so
yeah.
Who's going to show up to an unexpected stream on a channel they don't even subscribe
Oh no,
to?
I'd give you the credentials.
Just log into Fun King?
Yeah, whatever. What are you gonna do? Say the F word? So let's get deep into not really politics.
I gotta ask first though, when was the last time I said the F word? Because I know you said you'll give me one a year, and I really want to make sure that I know when it's.
I said one ever.
Oh, you said one a year.
Somebody's gonna have to go back and pull the tape on that.
Yeah.
I guess it's not really politics, but it is.
Is it our friend Elon?
Yeah,
everything's about Elon. He's a character, that one.
I know that this isn't really a topic that this particular live stream covers. I mean, we talk about everything here. We try to not get into stuff that is offensive to people. So I guess
my explosive diarrhea.
Right. If you're easily offended, you should probably put your fingers in your ears and just go la 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 for just a couple of minutes. No, I actually forgot where I was going with all of this. I was going to, when I made the tweet this morning about the stream, I usually do a little poem, and I wasn't feeling very creative this morning. So I just did whatever that blurb is that I did. I don't ever claim to be like super talented, creative. I'm a funny guy, but I was actually starting a poem, something about dropping the F-bomb. I don't remember the way I was wording it, but something along the lines of how there's free speech on Twitter now, and I can do whatever I want, and maybe I'll drop the F-bomb. Oh wait, I could always do that on Twitter. And I don't remember the way it was worded. And then I just thought, nah, I just shouldn't go there. For you guys out there that maybe you don't know, it's not that I've never said it. I've just never said it on the channel. Like, I try to keep the channel very family friendly because this started as, a father and son project, and it's coming back around to being a father and son project. I know I keep promising that, but Zach is starting to get more and more interested, which I'm gonna show you something in a few minutes. But I don't know. I was playing with that. I just thought it was going to be funny, and then decided it wasn't funny. So For
Well,
those of you who are like spinning out of control, probably nobody in this audience. Probably. But I mean, if you are, it's okay. If you're nervous about the whole Twitter thing, don't be. And I started to write a big thing today in response to Alien Josh's post. And let me preface this with Josh and I are friends. And no matter what Josh says and no matter what I say, at the end we will be friends. Just like James and I. James and I actually have polar opposite political views. And yet here we are as adults, still friends.
here we're as adults adultering together.
All the adultering. But if you're nervous about the whole takeover of Twitter because people are going to say things on Twitter that you don't want to see, there is a mute option and a block option, and I encourage you to use it. A lot of people brag like, "Oh, I've never muted anybody on Twitter." Then you're missing out. You're missing out.
You're not living your best life.
It's probably the greatest feature in Twitter. Well, no, I guess the block option is the greatest, but I don't want anything political on my Twitter feed at all, regardless of the side, regardless of the country. I don't want to see any of it. I have never yet blocked a friend on Twitter or muted a friend on Twitter. Generally, it's people retweeting political things. So I block whoever it is that they retweeted or mute whoever they retweeted just to block that out. Because generally the people that I'm friends with on Twitter, who I follow on Twitter, are makers. And that's what I keep that account locked into. I say all of this to say, don't be scared of change. Change is good. Felipe said you blocked me. You darn right I did. I blocked you twice. I blocked your account and then I blocked my account that was blocking your account. No, but I will say that I will publicly announce, and I've said it before, I have unfollowed some people on Twitter, but those people I followed originally as makers or people who claim to be makers or 3D printing people, and then they only posted other things. And political, not political, it doesn't matter. I mean, if like people's interests change. So if you say, "Hey, I'm all into 3D printing," and you're like, "Great," and then all of a sudden you're like, "Hey, I only like to do automotive things."
I know a guy that was like that.
It's cool, like that. If that's not what you followed me for, I got a different Twitter for that, But no, see, I keep that stuff off my Twitter as well, like I keep them separate. So.
Got to keep them separated.
Tomas, Maker Viking said, "Everyone has blocked me. Not me. I don't block you, Tom."
I've only unfollowed one person on Twitter thus far in my.
You've only unfollowed one?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I will say that there are a couple of people. There are a couple of people that are in the maker community that I have blocked their account because I don't like the things that they say. And it's not because they say things that are different from my beliefs. I just think that some people are whiny. I can't say that. Some people are just whiny. There was going to be a B word following that.
Whiny boys.
Yes, except for not necessarily boys. Whiny anybody. Whiny people.
Whiny biatches.
Well, that's kind of where I was going, but it's kind of...
I kept it family friendly. That's
you could say beaches. I'm in Florida. We're surrounded by beaches. But
whiny
anyway,
individuals. We don't even need to.
Right. So I go off on this little squirrely tangent right now, just to say to you that if you are nervous about the changes of Twitter, don't run away from Twitter. Don't feel like you have to go find a different platform. We as human beings put ourselves in a comfort bubble. We surround ourselves with people with like minds. Now, in fairness, I will tell you, probably 90% of the people in the maker community that I'm in do not have the same train of thought and the mind that I do. I'll tell you right now, they like 3D printing. I just can't stand it anymore. There, I said it. No.
I done had enough. I told you.
the big difference is going to be you have the tools and you have the ability to retain your bubble of solitude. You
If
just
you
have
so
to work
choose.
harder now. Twitter is, as they say, is not going to necessarily protect you from things you don't want to hear. You have to do that. So, and then I digress. We don't have to go any further with that, unless you guys want to talk about this. But I could tie up hours with that.
And probably would.
Well, I had to talk for 2 hours straight last week. Jerk.
Well, you know what they say. I don't care.
That's the first live stream I've done by myself in a really long time. Maybe
You had
if ever.
plenty of notice to find somebody that can still tolerate you enough to hang around for a bit.
I know.
You just couldn't.
Most of the people have muted me or blocked me on Twitter, so I don't even know. So
So I have to rip apart the robot today because I thought this was better detached when I started into this speech about why, because I was going to show it on camera. Bear with for 2 seconds.
okay. I was just running down the chat just to see if I've missed anything. Felipe says he will be at Orlando Maker Faire. So if you have any desire to meet Felipe, come to Orlando Maker Faire next weekend.
I was coming until I found out.
I am not getting a table. We will be crashing at the... Oh, right there. Chris Lane just said we're just going to crash the Gloop table again. Yes, absolutely. I talked to one of the Andrews today, and...
Come on, focus for me. There. You see the damage of that cable? The USB cable sticking out? Yeah, my tolerances were off a little, and it turns out when I was sandwiching it together, it was just bending that straight up at a 90-degree angle.
Wow.
So all of a sudden I started getting voltage drop off. I'm like, why would the resistance be increasing? Yeah, it's bent enough that there is actual wire exposed in that cable. So we're just getting rid of it.
So can you do a short, or you just don't need that cable?
No, I do need that cable. So this is why I'm taking it apart, because I've printed a new box that's 6 or 7 millimeters thicker, and also I've cut a hole in the front where the 2 USB ports would be, so that gives them another 6 millimeters of clearance.
Oh,
so it gives
okay.
another centimeter and a half, which should be more than enough.
Excellent.
And if I were to reprint the control box, that hole actually continues all the way into the front, so you'd have as much space as you would ever need, but this should be enough clearance to be able to get her done.
Excellent.
Squirrely Dan.
So Chris Lane did say that he's not nervous about Twitter. He's just watching to see what's happening, and he mutes and blocks people constantly. See, there you go. You are using your Twitter given rights. Clint joined us. And of course, I mentioned Tom Maker Viking. He's also here.
I guess Elon Musk will have even more visual focus on him going forward about things he says and does on the platform.
I don't know what you mean.
About you don't know who Muskie is?
Are you kidding? I have him on speed dial. We've been friends for years.
That explains so much.
He's like, hey, let me give you some money. And I'm like, no, I like to be poor. That's not fair. I'm not poor. That's completely not fair. And I shouldn't have even.
Everybody is poor compared to Elon Musk. Just about.
God, you're right. Whew. Somebody had made the comment. I don't know. Is this considered political? It's not really political, is it? It's current events. Somebody had made the comment that, oh my God, he's just gonna buy Twitter and burn it to the ground.
Maybe.
And I thought, who in the world would burn $44 billion to the ground? I mean, I realize the guy has a lot of money, but you don't just waste $44 billion.
I mean, what if it amuses him?
Not $44 billion worth.
Well, but that's because $44 billion is a lot to most individuals, but...
No, even by percentages. Now, like him buying, what's his name from Amazon? Jeff Bezos. If he buys Jeff Bezos just to like slap him when he gets angry, when Elon gets mad and he gets to slap Jeff Bezos. Now that would be worth $44 billion. And at this point in Bezos' life, he'd probably take the $44 billion for that. I mean, I would.
He's got slapped for way more by his wife, right?
I would be a slap puppet for $44 billion.
I mean, I want a ground rule. Like, you can't hit me hard enough to knock out teeth, because
Right? No, just open hand slap. Just like Will Smith type.
Yeah.
Slap.
And just keep my wife's name out of your mouth.
Ollie says he will not be coming to Orlando Maker Faire. I'm very sorry to hear that, Ollie. That'd be a long trip.
For not much.
Look, Uncle Ron's in the chat. Chris Lane said, speaking of Twitter, I just tagged you. Okay. I'll look at it in a few minutes.
I have not seen Josh's post. Should I go read it?
No, he's just talking about how, and I mean, this won't offend him. We're friends. He had made the comment about how Elon has only owned Twitter for one day, and already the hate speech. He didn't say lies. He said false truths or something like that, and name calling has increased a million times, and that's not verbatim. It was just something along those lines. And I did start to type a reply to him, but at the point that it was like 6,000 characters, I thought I got to go about this differently, because Twitter. But Josh and I sometimes do have opposing views on things, but we're still friends. He's still welcome to come to my house anytime. He's planning to come down and have dinner with us one of these Sundays, and then he'll be here on the show. But I mean, I don't want people to live in fear that, oh my God, this platform that has catered to my bubble, and it is a bubble. I'm sorry, it's a bubble. It's all going to be different. It's all going to change. No, you're just not going to get spoon-fed your stuff anymore. If you like Twitter because you don't see the other side, fix it. You have the tools to block out those who say things that you don't want to hear. But in fairness, sometimes you got to see the other side. Like if you lock yourself into too much of a bubble, then you kind of miss out on expanding your mind. Mitch said Mastodon doesn't have ads though. Twitter doesn't have ads. At least my Twitter doesn't have ads. Pie hole, baby. Pie hole all the way. No ads.
I think every 4 or 5 posts I get an ads on Twitter.
Yeah, no, I don't see ads on anything. So, and then I use what is it? uBlock, and I actually have a script inside of uBlock that gets rid of like recommended for you and all the extra. Oh, and I think I have a plugin called Twitter Guff. Let me just click and make sure that that's manage extensions.
My house has been overrun by ladybugs.
Ladybugs, that's fun.
Yeah, I got 2 dead ones. 2 dead ones on the floor down here since yesterday, and then I just looked and there's one crawling around on my desk. Kind of just like, up.
Well, I guess I took the Twitter Guff one off of there, but yeah, so just uBlock Origins. And my Twitter's clean. See? Use the tools you have available to you to clean up your life. Get your life clean. What's wrong with you? Carl Schumann said, Chief Twit. Okay, let's talk about something. Did anybody see the tweet that Elon made about the automated email that he got?
Oh, yes.
The Manager's 101?
Twitter Management 101, yep.
Yeah, and he had like 30, it said he had 30 days to complete it.
Yeah.
I want to know. Give me a second. I have to think about what it was. Tweeps. The employees inside of Twitter are known as tweeps internally. TWEEP, I believe it was.
Twitter creeps, tweeps.
Twitter employees? I thought that was really funny, because like certain places have, like IKEA's, they call their employees coworker or coworkers. God, now I can't remember. I think it is. I think it's coworker. Like certain places have nicknames. I thought they'd be tweeples, better than twits. Yeah, I just thought that was absolutely hysterical when I read that, and I thought, I've never heard that. I never heard that come out anywhere in public, and I wonder if it was just an internal thing that's now been leaked. God,
Leaked by the new owner.
yeah, he's owned the place one day. Yeah, he says his Twitter bio is Chief Twit. It says, "Hey Elon, it's time to start managing at Twitter 101. M101. M101 covers what it means to be a good manager at Twitter by showing you how to create opportunities for impact, help your tweeps grow their careers, and demonstrate care for your team. Psst, you only got 30 days to finish this mandatory course, and once you're done, we'll enroll you in managing at Twitter 201. So, first of all, if he doesn't do it in 30 days, what are they going to do about it? Sorry, buddy, you're fired. He said, I missed this. He replied to his own tweet and said, so demanding to allow a mere 30 days to learn this priceless information. But management 201 is such a tantalizing carrot. I'm sorry, the guy is hysterical. Like he's funny to me. Just because he digs at corporate America, and yet he lives in corporate America. But yeah, I never knew that Twitter employees were named tweeps, and I think that's absolutely funny. So
it leaked what Meta calls their people. I don't remember what it was now.
What Medicare calls their employees?
No, what Meta, like Facebook?
Oh, Meta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was something silly.
Morons? Oh, wait.
Yeah. Sucker burgers.
Sucker.
We do have fun though, don't we?
Chris Lane said, I guess Twitter equals peeps. Twitter plus peeps, tweeps. I never heard that term, and usually stuff like that slips out. I want to verify IKEA. Yeah, it's IKEA coworkers. That's what they call them, because I don't know, for those of you who have ever shopped at an IKEA, you do 90% of the labor. You walk around and look at stuff, and then you find out where it is, and you go get it off the shelf and put it on a cart, and then you pay for it and take it out and put it in your car. So therefore, it's like you work there. So the other people that work there are your coworkers, though you seem to be doing more of the work than they do. Except for maybe the guys that stock the shelves in the warehouse area. Anyway. Mike has popped in and said, hello, James and Glenn. Hello, Mike.
Hello. Salut.
Mitch said, is he a board member or CEO? The other shareholders could kick it. He owns Twitter. He owns it. There's no kicking him.
I know I can't say this is related to Twitter, but I know there are situations in other places where your ability to manage your ability is linked to policy and stuff like that. So even if you own the thing, like I guess you would have to remove the policy.
Yeah, publicly traded companies, technically, yes, you can get booted out of your own company, but he bought Twitter based on $54.20 a share. He bought all the shares of Twitter. That's how I understand it. And if I'm incorrect, somebody please correct me. But As
I
I
would love
understand
nothing
it,
better than to correct you. Like when I need a good thing to think about, I think about correcting you, and that's what gets me to sleep at night. You know.
why did he take the sink with him? I don't really know
Oh,
what
okay,
that.
that was a joke.
Right, let the
Let
sink
it
let
let
this
that sink
sink
in.
in.
Yeah.
But I don't know what caused him to even come up with that.
The current theory is that he is in fact planning to sink the company, and it's gonna be like he started the meme, and then a year from now, when they go to business, he's like, the symbolism was there.
That's pretty funny.
And then because I was talking to him, I'm like, well, I mean, if it happens now, even if it wasn't the theory, he can still play it off like that. Like, this was the plan all along, you plebes. There's a here. Let's see if you can.
Just throw that on the floor if you're done with it.
That was the pie that powers it. Can you see the ladybug crawling around on that black connector right there?
Yeah.
Just hanging out, just having fun.
Yeah, we don't get too many of those.
Get away from me, lady! You bug me.
Mike says he's just out in the garage doing his e-waste.
I'm usually pretty e-wasted on Sundays. Family-friendly channel.
Twitter is a private company, is now for sure. When he said Chief Twit, I thought of this Monty Python Twit Olympics. Mitch said you found a bug in the code.
Oh, there's probably more than one, but
Carl said not a ladybug. What is it? I've always known those as ladybug.
It's red and it's got spots on its back and it flies.
Or are we just not allowed to call it a ladybug anymore? Is it a gender neutral bug?
Let's not go down that road.
There isn't a road that I don't go down.
Except for I can't say the F word.
Right. No, family friendly. Good news is Dogecoin went up. Yeah, but not enough. Hopefully it keeps going. Mike said, send me a link and one day I'll show you all I have. Well, I've put out the call multiple times for people who want a guest host. Just shoot me an email at funking30day.com. Carl said red or orange.
Oh, maybe.
I think they're
this one's orange actually. Now that I think he might be right. I think there's a Japanese ladybug or something like that. That's not the traditional ladybug.
Uncle Ron said non-binary insect, which actually there are those. But bugs are weird, man, and there's so many of them. So, but anyway, well, I guess we can do a little show and tell. First of all, Uncle Ron got to see this in person today. That is the sign from last week. I did not burn over it again because I shut the laser off, and then I was afraid that the head wouldn't be in the right spot when I started it back up, because it doesn't auto home. It doesn't have micro switches. So, but Uncle Ron did tell me that it would clean up a little bit if I wiped it down. So I did take a damp paper towel and give it a wipe over, and it did take a bunch of soot off of it. But I still
bunch of what? Careful, family-friendly channel.
Soot.
Oh, I see. Like that time you soot your pants.
Well, yeah. I shipped my pants once.
I shipped my pants.
Hey, Billy, did you ship your pants? Can I ship my pants, Dad? One of the greatest commercials of all time. Absolutely one of the greatest commercials of all time. It's Kmart, for those of you who don't know. And it's old. It was like from the 90s, wasn't it?
Well, because Kmart's from the 90s.
Or was it from the early 2000s? I don't know.
Is Kmart still around now?
I know think the very last one finally just closed, like in the last 6 months.
It was the K Thanks Buy Mart.
What's that?
Instead of the Kmart, it was the K Thanks Buy Mart.
K Thanks Buy Mart?
K Thanks Buy.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe that's just funny from where I'm from.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye. I can remember, like, my grandmother, her house, there was a Kmart within, I don't know, mile and a half or whatever. And we, like, my cousin and I could ride our bikes over there, but like she would take us there and we'd eat at the little restaurant in the back.
Yep.
Like I can always remember that. And we used to get the, like, in the sandwich, it would have those big toothpicks with the plastic ribbon things on the back.
Yep.
I don't know how else to describe them, but they always stick them in your club sandwich. And we put those in our soda straw and shoot them into the suspended ceiling. And they were in there for years. Like, they never took them down. There was like 50 of them stuck in the ceiling in the Kmart restaurant.
Sounds like your family lacked discipline. Oh, the ladybug is now inside, or the Asian bug or whatever is now inside the case, just crawling around. So I guess it might be taking a trip to the States.
Oh, that could cause some problems.
Yeah, I'll get it out of there.
But anyway, so that's how that turned out, and I'm still pretty pleased with it. I'm gonna make another one. Like I said, I got an idea for it, and I know where I want to hang it. So I will make another one of those. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to run the laser today. It made my throat. Of course, 2 hours of talking might have done it, but it made my throat really scratchy last week. So
it's the Itchy and Scratchy show.
The other thing that I wanted to share was this bad boy. Dun 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 dun. Wait, is that the right tune?
Well, now I'm disappointed that you didn't print my model of it.
You have a model of this?
I do. I'm so disappointed in you.
You have Anakin Skywalkers?
I've done Anakin. I've done. Did I do Darth Maul? I think I did Darth Maul. I did.
Where do you have those available?
I think they're on my Patreon, but that's also going back a year and a half, 2 years. I'll have to double check. Maybe I never released them. Maybe it's all my fault. And I did Mace Windu's.
Yeah, no. So Zach is he's being Anakin Skywalker for Halloween.
Anakin Skywalker's is also Luke Skywalker's first one, right?
I don't know. I mean, I'm a dork, but like, if it wasn't in what I refer to as 1, 2, and 3, which is really 4, 5, and 6.
But that's what I'm saying is the first one Luke Skywalker gets in A New Hope, the one that gets passed on to him, and he goes, "Oh, it was your father's," right? Like that. He inherits his father's first lightsaber.
That could be, yeah. You know,
somebody in chat will definitely.
What I found, because I don't know a lot about Anakin Skywalker. I don't know if I've ever even seen the first, second, and third, which was made 4th, 5th, and 6th. I don't know if I've ever watched all 3 of those all the way through. As weird as that is, I'm just not.
I saw the Phantom Anus in theater, and it smelled as bad as it sounds.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've seen a lot, like all the more recent ones, and the Rogue One, which was, I don't know. People said it was pretty terrible. It was okay.
I thought everybody liked Rogue One.
Was it Rogue One? I don't know. There was one that everybody was like, "Oh, that was terrible."
I know people didn't care for the Han Solo, like the origin story or whatever.
All right, too. I mean, it was all right.
So. I didn't like that they made Chewbacca into a person eater. Like, we won't talk about that he's been down in that hole eating people for months or years. Just everybody that gets tossed down here, he just treats them like a Sizzler buffet.
Well, but I was telling Zach that I thought it was, because I didn't know a lot about Anakin Skywalker, and I thought it was really weird that Anakin was missing the same hand that Darth Vader is missing. That's crazy.
You mean both of them?
What's the possibility of that happening to 2 different people? I laid that joke out on one of the kids at the Halloween event last night, and he was just kind of staring at me, and I looked over at, because I had said that to Zach earlier, and Zach thinks all my jokes are dumb, but like, I said it to this kid, and all of a sudden he's like looking at me, and I said to Zach, I said, "You can see the gears grinding, man. Just wait for it. Just wait for it.
Just gotta wait for him to catch up."
It was like it was like the little loading thing going around and around.
Kay and I went and saw a movie for the first time, and I guess we went and saw Ghostbusters last year.
Right.
So movie first time in theaters, and I don't know how long. Anyways, we
What'd
saw
you see?
Black Adam.
Oh, did you?
Yep. I thought it was way better than the critics have said.
Way better than White Adam?
Careful now. But yes.
I'm sorry, I had to go there. I'd never heard of the character Black Adam.
It's
So, like, I'm not really familiar with that whole. I'm waiting for it to not be in the theaters because I'm cheap and I don't like theaters.
That's fair. Yeah, because that's the thing. It cost us. I got a popcorn, a pop, and a like a small candy or something like that. Kay got
$45.
yeah. Kay got nacho, like like the chips and the cheese sauce.
Ooh, big spenders.
And she got herself a drink. I bet you we spent with the movie tickets $85-$90.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't miss that.
It's crazy. Of course, right now everything is crazy. Everything.
Yeah, that's true. We were noticing today, like even like French fry stands and stuff like that. We go in, and it's like, oh, this thing that used to be like $6.99 is now $12.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Xander and I go to lunch on Fridays. It's really the only time we spend together, except for in the virtual world of Red Dead Online,
which is every other waking moment, apparently.
Oh God, you just have no idea. I told you I have an addiction problem.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to Kayleen saying how worried I was about you.
Have you been watching my online presence?
Well, you don't realize it, but your son's going live every time you guys are playing together.
That would be impossible. I don't think YouTube allows that much live time. That's not even. I mean, if that was true, it's not even the half of it because I play way more than he does. Like I just play by myself.
Are you going to take a pause on your YouTube channel now?
Not intentionally. But
yes.
We can talk about that. We can talk about that. No. I have a lot of content lined up. I haven't yet edited the video that's supposed to be coming out this week. But it will be a fummins. It'll be a fummins. I thought I lost some footage. I was working on it yesterday and I was spinning out of control because I couldn't find the footage. But I did manage to find what I was looking for. I don't know why it got cataloged the way it did, but that's not important. But no, I got to get motivated. But the biggest problem now is we're rolling into Christmas light season. And that takes a bunch of my time too. So things are going to get really stretched. So I probably will have to back off on the online stuff for just
a little bit.
But
I released my latest video. You may not have seen the video, but you probably saw the notification. And it's on an old computer from 1986, and it's a computer that didn't sell particularly well, so there aren't a ton. There's enough, but not a ton of surviving ones, and there aren't a ton of.
Are you going to tell us what it is, or do I have to go look it up? Because I don't know if I've seen it.
Oh no, it's the IBM PC convertible. It's
Oh yeah, with the 2 floppy drives.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first true laptop.
Yeah, had power management and everything on it. One of the weird things about it is that when you hit the power button, it doesn't actually turn it off. It just puts it into standby mode and it leaves it powered. So as soon as you hit the power button, it's right back to where it was. So not a lot of videos done on it. A couple of good quality ones done on it. But most of them are just, hey, check it out. Like, it's like rough cam footage of somebody being like, here, I'm turning on this machine I just got or whatever. So it's like, oh, sweet, there's a good spot for me here. And literally 5 days before I released mine, and like it would. Did you see that?
No, I know where you're going with this.
A much larger YouTuber released a video on the same device, and his video is far superior to mine. He had all the accessories and everything for it. So his video is an hour and a half long, going in depth on everything. And I was like, so I messaged him and I asked if I could use some of his footage, and he said yes.
Oh, that's nice.
So I was able to point, and it was literally just so I could point people to his video and say he's done this really in-depth video on how all this stuff works.
That's a good recovery tactic. I mean, there has been times when I was in the process of making a video, I might have even already shot it, and I hadn't edited the footage, and some bigger 3D YouTuber, Chris Riley, also released a video on that, and I just thought, there's no use.
What's the point?
Yeah, there's once he's done it, even if he does it after you, delete yours.
Yep.
Just, I mean, if you release your video 3 years before Chris Riley does one, and Chris Riley does it, just delete yours.
I don't know if this is still the
doesn't
case.
Matter anymore.
I don't know if this is still the case, but this is the best example of that, in my opinion. Do you remember I designed? Well, you've seen it. The very first project you ever saw from me at Murph was that miniature 3D printed arcade cabinet.
Yes.
So I did my build video on it, and Chris Riley then did a build video on my project, and I believe he got significantly more views and stuff from it than I did.
Of course he did.
That's when I realized I was like, "There's no point in competing with the Chris Riley. You will just default to lose."
There's nobody that does it better than Chris Riley. Like as far as the technical.
There's nobody I'd rather lose to than Chris Riley.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like he doesn't. I'm trying not to use specific examples, but like if he's testing, these flush cutters are the best 3D printing flush cutters, and I'm going to show you why. He takes it like 10 steps beyond why. You know, like he thinks about things that other people don't. So all props to Chris Riley. Good dude. Absolutely good dude.
The top actually it's the top goes down, but it also just straight comes off like a like the hard tops on an old. I'm trying to. There's so many vehicles that use hard top that just pop off, and I'm drawing a blank because I'm deer in the headlights.
Oh, the old T-Birds, the old Corvettes.
Yeah.
Jeeps.
Jeep.
And then there was like the Galaxy 500 hardtop, but that went down into the trunk.
Oh, my ladybug friend is back. I couldn't figure out where it went, and I was afraid it walked into the control panel, and like now in my head I'm like, I can't ship this with an actual bug inside it.
No, that would be funny, but no, that wouldn't be good.
I feel like it could get me in trouble.
Ollie said, I wanted to make a video before a big YouTuber released his, but even with several months warning, I still didn't make it. I released, I want to say it was my Octoprint installation video, which absolutely is probably one of the best performing videos on this channel. And I released mine like months and months before Chris Riley released one. And yet, as soon as Chris Riley released his, I was getting messages, you copied this. You copied this from Chris Riley.
To be fair, you did. You just pre-copied it.
Yes. Well, so Chris Riley came to me in his time machine and said, hey, make this video. I'm going to make mine later, but here's the answers. No, it's just the way it goes. It's the same too. If you do something and then Joel does it, Joel did it first, even if he didn't.
That happened to me. Joel released a video on something I'd been working on, and I just like out of frustration because I was trying to find my, like it seems like every YouTuber, not every YouTuber, but most tech YouTubers have that one big video that like put them on the map, and then after that the growth was like more like predictable.
Right.
I think for Joel it was that 3D printed lion, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, the hairy lion. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that was his big thing. And
well, it was literally a big thing.
I was working on something and it was like the night before I released it, and he released the exact same thing and I deleted it. And I told him about it later, and he got as mad as Joel ever gets mad about anything. He's like, you should have just released it. There's no reason to. He's like, everybody has different views on stuff. I'm like, yeah, I know, but.
Yeah, well, that's actually what Brian just said in the comments. He said, honestly, guys, who cares who did it first, because you're doing it your way. And that's what my wife keeps trying to drill into my brain. I teach things different than somebody else teaches things. And, when I started the 3D printing YouTube channel, it was for me to learn and for me to teach what I was learning. So, because I learn differently than a lot of people,
and I'm also to make it big and get money out of it.
Well, yes. Yeah. That was supposed to be the after effect, but it just never happened. But it was supposed to be, Xander and I learning together and us, helping somebody else. And we did for a long time. I mean, there was a lot of tutorials and a lot of, people reaching out to me. Hey, I'm having this problem, and, I'd help them out and whatever. But I specifically, when I started the garage channel, I specifically vowed to myself it would not be a how-to channel. I'm not going to teach people how to fix their stuff. Not
And
because I
ironically
don't.
enough, you've actually designed a how not to channel.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, let's take the Fummins project, for instance. I mean, up to its current state, the video that we'll be dropping will be the, oddly enough, the body, putting the body back on for the last time. At least I think so. I haven't watched all the footage. I think it's the last time. Regardless, that should be coming up this week. We'll see. Depends on how I do in Red Dead. Oh, addiction is such a terrible, terrible thing. But think about it. Had I done that whole entire project as a how-to, which would have been like amazing for the people who are also attempting that project, but 7 months worth of content would have become years worth of content. And that's how long it would have taken me to do it. So for those who don't film what you do as far as being a maker or really anything, it takes twice as long to do anything if you're also filming it. Because you got to worry about moving cameras and blah, blah, blah. And then
refilming when you realize that your hand was in the way of this like, super important shot.
Right. Or being mad later because you just decided you wanted to listen to the radio while you were working. So now you can't use any of that footage. That's probably the worst part about being a YouTuber. But yeah, I know. I shouldn't complain. I choose to do this. Nobody's making me do this. What's
up?
I don't know how to share this. So Chris Lane tagged me in this thing on Twitter, and it's the account is from Old People Online, and it's a screen grab of a text. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times it says, "Are we going to Golden Corral? Are we going to Golden Corral?" Like this, and then it said, "Yeah, unless you want to go somewhere else." And they said, "No," and it's from Grandma. So Grandma wanted to go to the Golden Corral. So Chris Lane tagged me in it, and that's absolutely funny. And yes, we are absolutely going to Golden Corral. The Andrew asked me if we were going to Golden Corral or a Steak and Shake. And for those of you who don't know the Steak and Shake story, 1 year Orlando Maker Fair on Sunday night, not Saturday night, on Sunday night, as we left there, we decided just to go to dinner with the Andrews and their respective girls. And so it was just my family and them. It wasn't like a big event. It was just a private, us hanging out at Steak and Shake. And we got there at it was probably about 7:30. And I got my food at about 7:45. That's how bad the service was in there. The lady just kept making excuses. Well, they brought my burger out and it was wrong. And I sent it back. And then she kept making excuses for why my food wasn't coming out. And finally, she came to the table at like 11:30 and she's like, "Well, I'm going to take it off your bill." And I said, "Great, but I still want my food." I said, "I'm diabetic. I need to eat." And then she's like, "Oh," and then brought my food out like 10 minutes later. It was crazy. It was crazy stupid, but it's so fun to look back on and laugh now. And what was really great was that Andrew said, "Hey, do you want to go to dinner?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I said, "How about Chili's?" And they're like, "Oh, not Chili's." And I'm like, "Really? I love Chili's." Well, apparently in St. Louis, Chili's is like not the place you go. I guess Chili's is awful. But I mean, my local Chili's, I mean, I've only eaten at a few Chili's, I guess, but my local Chili's is like the bomb. They're the greatest in there. So like I wanted to go to Chili's, but no, we went to Steak and Shake. And I still pick on them about that.
To this day.
Mitch said, "I heard St. Louis. Don't go to Chili's, Mitch. Don't go to Chili's." Actually, Mitch, I'd like you to go to Chili's. If you were here and didn't tell me. No, I would never do that, man. Are you kidding? God, miss an opportunity to hang out with the Mitch. No, I'd love for you to go over to Chili's and then tell me how it is.
Welcome to Chili's.
No. But oh yeah.
Okay, well, the new body is assembled, so I just have to wire it all up and then hope I didn't break anything, which is, usually I have broken things.
You missed my announcement last week that I bought an '80s Lamborghini Countach.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Way to go, MacGyver. Or not MacGyver. MacGyver. Way to go, MacGyver. Way to go, Magnum.
No, Magnum drives a Ferrari.
I know.
Oh, that was terrible. No, here it is. Here it is. It's some assembly required. Applebee's is cheaper. I hate Applebee's.
But then you're eating good in the neighborhood. Is that them eating good in the neighborhood?
Yeah, I think so. It's not that their food is bad. It's just like I go in there and stare at the menu for an hour and can't find anything that I want to eat. Mitch said, well, I'm going to Twitch. Sorry, I'm hijacking the stream. Mitch, post a link to your Twitch in the chat, but not till 6:29. No, if you want to share your link, it's fine. If nothing else, at least after the stream, people can come over and bug you.
Oh, I'm tired today.
This is the second Lego set that I bought since Lego said they were going to paper bags. And I still don't have paper bags. Still plastic. What are you doing, Lego?
Lego.
I love Lego. Such a absolutely ingenious toy.
Oh, great. Now my mouth tastes like blood. I just used my teeth to change bits because I didn't want to I didn't want to let go of what I was working on, and that distinctly coppery metal taste.
Oh yeah.
Are you a fan of like the Rocky movies and stuff?
I won't say I'm a fan. I enjoyed them, but like, I don't think I've ever gone back and watched them a second time.
Oh, that's fair. They released the trailer for the next Creed movie, so I was just curious if if that's something you were interested in.
I hadn't even noticed, but I'm sure I'll see it when it comes out.
Do you watch the other two Creed movies?
I'm sure, yeah.
I get I think every time they release them, I go back and rewatch the originals. It's not the kind of thing where it's like I have a mandatory rewatch it yearly or whatever. But
they didn't they use his son or something?
They used Apollo Creed's son, yeah, for the new ones. His I don't know if I can use that word, but his son that he had out of wedlock, with his mistress.
Oh yeah, don't use the B word. If you use the B word, then I'm going to hear it from Zach later. So Zach has this thing. Anytime that a profanity may come out of my mouth, like if I'm talking about a thing that holds back water or a small horse that's very powerful, he always goes, language. And then I'm like, I'm talking about a female dog.
What a donkey.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
Now, I don't know for sure that I've got the right speaker connected to the right side of the amplifier. I didn't label them because I didn't think I was going to have to do this again.
Oh, no.
It's me, Mario. So we went to see Black Adam, and I was off work for the day. And so Kay and I were looking, and there was a theater near where we were, and it was relatively empty. So we thought, well, because we do have still have the concerns with her,
Right.
So it had like I think 6 or 7 tickets sold in the entire theater because it was like I think it was like 2:00 in the afternoon type thing on a Friday.
Yeah.
I guess somebody took the day off with their kids, and there was like 10 kids in the front row, which is not front row, but like well enough in the front, right? Anyways, those kids were super excited, and every time something happened on the screen, we got to hear the content. Like the parents were shushing them at first, but they couldn't. The kids were just too excited. It was one of those things, right? And there's a group of them, like I'm sure friends and stuff like that. And To be fair, everybody that was in the theater, because there's probably, to be fair, there's probably another 10 people in the theater that weren't related to them. Everybody took it in stride. I was so worried that I was gonna like see somebody get up and go to like get the manager or whatever, because that's generally how those things go, right? Like
Right. Yeah. The
I don't
Karens of the
have
world.
kids. Yeah, I don't have kids, so that shouldn't be my problem. But I'm like for a comic book movie, like just
Well, okay. So as a guy with kids and who has been in movies where people have asked me to shush my children, there has to be a certain expectation. You know, when you go to see the Spider-Man movie at a 4 o'clock matinee, guess what? It's gonna be kids in the movie theater, and guess what? They're gonna be excited about it.
Yep. The
I
last
actually used Spider-Man as a point of reference, but when I went to the Spider-Man movie with the family, there was two old guys 2 rows behind us that were getting into a fist fight, and they were yelling obscenities 2 rows behind my children, and I stood up and told them both to shut up, or I was going to come back there and beat the crap out of both of them.
and that's the story of why Glenn didn't get to see Spider-Man that day. He picked a fight with two people.
Never did get to see Spider-Man. No, that was I mean, they were F-bombing like with my kids, and like Zach, I think was what, 6 at the time. Like, no, that's unacceptable.
Okay, so Spider-Man No Way Home has been out for almost a year now, so I'm about to say something that's spoilery
Spoiler
about
alert
it.
on a 1-year-old movie, folks.
I'm going to be polite about it and say spoiler alert. And here I go. So Kay and I, it was right before she had to start her isolation again that came out, and she managed to get us tickets for opening night as a last minute type thing, and it was in one of those VIP theaters, so you've got assigned seating, they've got food service to the chair and alcohol and stuff like that if you want. Anyway, so I'm standing in line, I'm like, I'm gonna go pee before the movie starts, because I don't want to be one of those.
They don't like you to do it in the movie.
Yes, especially if you're just peeing in the chair and it's just running down the aisle. They hate that. So
yeah, that's what I mean, like in the theater, right?
Yeah. So I'm standing in line to use the washroom, and there's a girl ahead of me, and she's like, "Oh, are you here for the new Spider-Man?" Yeah. And she goes, "Wasn't it?" She's like, "Isn't it been amazing? I can't believe that all 3 of them are in it." And I'm like, I'm here for the next showing. I'm not here for the current. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like,
wow. Wow. Yeah, that's people are dumb. That's all there is to it.
She was just excited, like I wasn't gonna get, and like I was 99% sure at that point, like all the leaks and stuff had happened by that point, and so I was pretty sure that we were gonna see.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
oh, Lou Ferrigno,
you still don't do that, like at least not without saying spoiler alert first. Because if you preface it with spoiler alert, then it's fine. You can say whatever you want.
Just like if you say no offense, right, before you.
Oh yeah. If you say no offense, you can say anything you want to, because you didn't mean anything by it.
Or like, I'm not racist, but I'm not ignorant, but I'm not whatever. But you,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, you throw that ahead of it so that people know that you're not. It's like, even if the next words out of your mouth make it sound like you're definitely the way you said you weren't, you let people know ahead of time. I'm not, though. It's okay.
Yeah, my pastor said something a couple weeks ago, and I'm trying to think of what movie he was referencing, but it was a fairly old movie, like maybe the 90s. And he had said something. I'm like, spoiler alert. But it was like a super old movie. Yeah, I'm not racist, but well, actually, buddy, let me tell you, yes, you are.
The fact that you had to say that beforehand, and then you looked around to make sure that nobody that would be offended by what you were about to say was, within earshot. You're just a closeted racist.
Yeah, but I mean, who cares if people get offended?
Pshaw.
I'm gonna go on Twitter and say anything I want.
So on there, elongated Musk.
It's gonna be a free for all. It's gonna be the Wild West. It's gonna be Red Dead Online in real life.
The first thing I did this morning was check to see if Mr. Trump's Twitter was still banned, and it is.
Yeah, I don't think he's gotten around to doing stuff yet. But first, he had to get rid of that sink he drug in there. What if he went out and bought that sink specifically for that?
Maybe.
I mean, that would be pretty funny. Just goes out and buys like a $500 bathroom sink.
I'd be willing to bet that he did, because do you think somebody with that money is going to deal with a dirty sink for that joke?
No, probably not. I mean, sir, he even carried it in himself. Like, he could have paid somebody else. I don't know. I'd like to spend the afternoon with him just to see what he's like as an individual human.
The only thing I have to keep an eye on, it looks like the heat sink that was on this orange pie, which is held in place by like a thermal sticker, had started to creep. If it falls off, it's going to drop directly onto the GPIO, which, oh, come on.
Again, throw that on the floor if you're done with it.
I was not done with that, and I'm slightly concerned that it might have damaged some important components. I thought everything was wired together enough that, like, if it started to slip, there's wire tension to stop it from falling anywhere. I was incorrect, I guess.
Chris Lane said, so I guess we can't discuss House of the Dragons then?
I have not watched anything other than, I think, the half of the first episode of House of the Dragon.
He said where the B word is thrown around a lot. I don't even know what that is.
House of the Dragon is Game of Thrones prequel.
Okay. So my wife and I started watching Game of Thrones. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. We started watching Game of Thrones back when it was relatively new. I guess it was out on Blu-ray at that point because a friend of ours had loaned us the Blu-ray, and we were in the first episode where there's a bro and sister hanging out.
Yeah, that's a key point for most of the story, to be honest.
And then there's a kid that goes out the window.
Oh yeah, in a big way.
And that was the end of it. We didn't watch any more of that.
Can't take stuff towards kids.
Well, not and then the whole brother and sister thing. Like, it's just not. It's not our cup of tea. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like a goody two shoes, but I got lines.
I was hoping to have this done after an hour because I have to try and see if I can fix my Prusa Mini, which I know there are people that love them.
Wait, 2 projects in one show? That's ridiculous.
My Prusa Mini has ended up being so as I say this, the issue might be the type of filament that I was putting into it, but it's a roll of filament that I've used on my full-size Prusa and had no problems with. But between the first big print that I ever did, having the magnets go all slippery and the steel sheet sliding around, and my last one where I brought the printer with me during my trip last week because I had promised somebody I would print something for them, and it jammed within the first 20 minutes, and then after I unjammed it, it jammed again, and now it's in a state where it is jammed, and so it could be the filament, but like I said, this is filament that I've been using on my other printer, so
yeah,
it may be more sensitive towards it, but
or it might have just been a fluke situation, like I don't know.
Because the filament in question is from a good friend of the show.
A good friend of the show?
We
don't got no good friends around here. I'm kidding, everybody. You're all good friends.
It's Jesse PLA.
Ah, Jesse PLA. That stuff is garbage. No, I'm just kidding. Local Maker Michigan asked, have I messed around with the Quadra yet? So for those of you who don't remember, the Quadra is a little, it was originally an Android box, but it was made available with a Nix operating system put on it. And yes, I have actually played with mine. It's in service right now. It is running Pi-hole. It's my primary Pi-hole server, as well as it is running PiVPN, which I use WireGuard. You can use WireGuard or OVPN on it. Both of them install super easy, but WireGuard by far is better and easier to configure on the server and client side. But that little box rocks, and I actually haven't rebooted it since I put it into service. So I haven't tried anything else on it yet, but so far so good with that. Felipe asks, has anyone tried Clipper yet? Nope. Hack Monkey said the extruder on the Mini is kind of wonky and he doesn't love it.
Well, I started looking into it. So I stayed up until almost 2 a.m. the first night I was at my folks, because I had to make a trip back to my hometown. Taking it apart, cleaning it, making sure there's no damage inside the heat break, that type of stuff. Putting it back together, and then it got the first half of the first layer down and started clicking, and then fully jammed again. So then I gave up on it for the night. And so then I was lying in bed and it was keeping me awake. So I started looking at videos, and people are saying, often when it's assembled, in the factory, or not the factory, but from Prusa, the heat break, there's too much of a gap left between the heatsink and the heater block.
Okay.
And you end up with a transition zone that's a little too long, and as a result, certain brands of PLA and stuff can jam up in it. And I said, okay, well, that makes sense. So I didn't get back up, but the next day I did the running around and stuff. And
you gave your mind, you were like, okay, that's got to be what it is.
Yeah.
So you put your mind at ease.
Yep. So then the next morning I got up, I did the running around and stuff that I had to get done. And then I got to work on it again, took it apart, adjusted the heat break as suggested in the posts that I had found, and was met with the exact same thing again. So at that point I messaged the friend and said, look, I know I said I would be able to print this for you. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to. And
what kind of temp were you using on the hot end?
Well, I tried a different range, because the first little bit when it was jammed, I was able to get it unjammed just by yanking the filament out. So I had to not pull it from the. Well, no, I wasn't even doing a cold. I wasn't even doing a cold pull. I would pull it out while hot, and it would not be fully stuck. And then I would push them through by hand to make sure there wasn't additional increased resistance. Because you can just tell when a nozzle's partially clogged or whatever.
Absolutely.
And so I ran it from a range from 200 up to 230.
Okay.
And it didn't matter. And then ultimately what would happen is the longer it ran, the more likely it would jam to the point where I actually couldn't unjam it without doing some disassembly work.
Yeah, because I run Jesse PLA a little bit hotter than most. I mean, I run everything a little bit hotter than most, but I've just always had luck that way.
I think I've always run mine at 215 to 220.
Yeah, so if the filaments say this prints at 190 to 215, I'm printing at minimum 215.
Yeah.
So.
So
Yeah.
that's where things ended up. I mean, there wasn't much I could do about it. Tell the friend, sorry about your luck.
Well, yeah.
But
sometimes that happens.
I don't think it's it may be that the Jesse PLA might be more finicky in this situation. I don't know positively. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus yet per se.
It could be a number of things. Well, and that's why this is not a mainstream hobby yet. It's why not every household has one. It's why I stopped recommending it to kids. They keep saying, I touched the nozzle and it was so hot. Okay, that's not true. But
I saw, let's see, Local Maker said that he's looking at getting the Bondtech heat break. Hack Monkey says ditto 215 most of the time on Jesse.
So, all right, let's talk about Bondtech, because obviously I have a Bondtech on this magnificent printer that I still don't have electricity to. Absolutely a fantastic piece of equipment, but they're not cheap. And at the point that you buy a Bondtech to put on a Mini, which a Mini was designed to be an affordable 3D printer, like you've now increased the value of the printer significantly. So,
And the reason I got the Mini was because I wanted a very reliable, because I'd had such a good luck with my Mark III, right? Like my Mark III has had issues twice in the time I've had it, but it's got tons of hours on it at this point. And it's actually running right now. It's printing. It's been printing out Halloween decorations or little giveaway items for Halloween, and it's been going good. So I was like, well, I want another machine that brings that type of reliability, but I want to be able to bring it wherever, and I don't need it to be as big. So
right.
he bought it for me for my.
Yeah, that absolutely fits the bill.
Yeah, it sounded like it was going to be perfect for it. And I don't hear a lot about it, so I can't guess how other people's luck has been with it. You know what I mean?
Well, and how much time do you have on that printer?
I've done less than 10 prints on it, I think.
Okay, so it could just be still got to dial it in.
Yeah, like I'm
just
using
the heat break, $15, not the whole extruder for 80. Oh, okay. Well, that's not too bad then.
Let's see. Just trying to get all these cables reconnected so I can make sure that everything still works after I took out literally the main body part. I thought so hard on like ways to avoid doing this full teardown and the easiest thing to replace. So I was like going to modify the back so that it like I could reprint the back and it would give me the extra clearances. But like no matter what I did, I was like, it's just that's not the right way to do it. And I know I'm not doing. You know, like I know anything. The other stuff I'm doing is just and this isn't staying with me. It's going to somebody else. So I should be proud of what I'm sending out.
Yeah.
But anyways, all that to say, I fell asleep last night when I was printing Halloween giveaway items, and so as a result, I missed a batch, and we're going to be short. So I'm hoping after I get this thing back together, it's just going to work, which would be nice, but probably not because my life, you know. But if it does,
I'm just going to do the right thing and pretend like I didn't see that.
I'm gonna have to reopen this again later on because so the other thing I added to the body while I was at it was a bunch of anchor spots for cable ties, so that I can do a better job isolating these wires. Because so far it's like I've wrapped most things in electrical tape that could short out something, and then I kind of just position and shove everything into place and hope for the best.
Oh, that's how cars are made.
You laugh, but you're also not wrong.
No, exactly. You have to laugh or you cry. So my lightsaber, I got sidetracked because you were all of a sudden like, I have that model, and I didn't know that. This actually came off a Thingiverse, and it was designed by Case Study number 8, Case Study NO, and then the number 8. It says here, stole this from Print and Play. No, not
I'm surprised.
Really. So my intention was to print this and sand it all down and paint it, and then I found out that Zach had an event on Wednesday, and I was just finishing it up on Tuesday, so there was no time for that. I did end up printing it in color. This is all filament color. So talk about shout back to old school. This is majority AIO Robotics. The black, the gold, the red, all AIO Robotics. And then the silver is Filamentum. Fit and finish on this was great. Friction would have held this thing completely together, but I was giving it to a child. So 3D Gloop is holding this together. And it is fantastic. I did remix it a little. I added a belt clip that was not there. But I also did not glue this vein on. It's just friction fit so that if that belt clip was to break, I can change it out. So shout out to AIO Robotics, who apparently no longer sells filament, which makes me super sad because I always loved their filament, and their red is the greatest red ever. I haven't checked it against Jesse Red now that I say that. But still, AIO Robotics Red is great red. So that was about 14 hours. Oh, there's Andrew in the chat. Did I hear someone say gloop? Yes, sir. You weren't supposed to see this yet. You were going to see this next week. But yeah, this is all held together with 3D gloop. And I got quite a buzz off of it. No, not really, but yeah, that it's not coming apart now. That's for sure. So
You know, this box is so much bigger than the old one was. There's a pretty decent increase in square footage, and I don't know how I got it together in the first place.
That's pretty funny that you're lurking back there, Andrew. We were already talking about you, and I told the story about Steak and Shake. So I assume you weren't here for that. I probably would have seen you pop in. I joined at the perfect time. Hey, every time's the perfect time to join these streams. You never know what's going to be said around here. So if you guys have never met the team from 3D Gloop, come to Orlando Maker Faire next weekend, Central Florida Fairgrounds. I really wish it was a bigger venue so everybody would come, but hello, Andrew number 1, or is it Andrew number 2? I don't think we ever numbered the Andrews. They're just the Andrews from Gloop. So they're absolutely part of the family. And I look forward to getting to see them next weekend. Well, it's funny, too, when you texted me, hey, this is Andrew from Gloop. Well, I knew that because it came up on my phone, Andrew from Gloop.
I have to actually order some Pet G 3D Gloop for that project that I've been working on that motherboard's for.
Well, and that's why this print turned out to be PLA. One, because I had all the colors, but I like PETG a lot better just for its durability. And being I was handing this to a kid, this absolutely would have been PETG, but I'm all out. I'm all out of the PETG Gloop. I think I might have like one of the little sample bottles left, but like I even keep a bottle right here because I talk about you guys so often. This bottle's no longer good. It solidified, but it was just a little bit in the bottom.
I guess I should make sure this all works before I try and cram this back together anyways, since I'm going to have to do some wire cleanup on it after the fact.
Yeah, unfortunately, this year was not my year for IRF, but James claims he's going to be there next year, so I will also be there next year. Dude, we should totally get a booth. We should get a Project Talk booth next year.
I'd be down to share.
We'll call it a Project Talk booth, but then it'll let us both like have half of a booth.
I think the only other thing that'll come up is I probably will get back to doing the sorry about the camera movement. Everything's tangled here. The Fresh Prints contest next year.
Yeah.
But I usually get a separate table just for that.
Oh, big spender, you.
Well, you gotta spend money to make money. I've been spending for years, and it doesn't seem to work. But
yeah, I haven't had the windfall on that yet. Andrew said it's been forever since we talked, and he didn't know if I had the same number. Yeah, same number since like 94. Because I'm old.
Well, she powered on, so that's good news. If I had some gloop on me, I'd gloop this right together right now.
Is it PLA? Here.
It is. Just hand it through the.
Yeah, just take it. I'll put it in the transporter.
Beep beep booey. Well, she starts up, so that's good news.
So now that I'm done with my tangent about Gloop, 3D Gloop, that awful stuff. I began printing on the Prusa, which actually I was just playing with the piece. Here's the piece. This was the bottom of, I don't know, something here. Oh, the bottom of this center section. And it made it this far in, which I believe is about 2 layers. And I got thermal underrun. underrun when it's too cold. So it's still experiencing that problem where with PLA, as soon as the fan kicks on, it's pretty much blowing out the candle. So my thought, and I would love the community's input on this, my thought is that my heater cartridge is weak. Does that make sense? Is that a viable thing?
Yep, absolutely.
And this would have started right around the time that I had that huge Jesse PLA blob. And I'm thinking that maybe because the printer ran and ran and ran with that huge blob stuck on there, that it just pretty much burned it out.
I mean, it's possible that, yeah, especially since like it would act as an insulating layer, right? So all that heat and I don't know.
Oh, that Derek. Yeah, so my plan, and I procrastinate things. So sitting in my shopping cart on printedsolid.com right now is a new hot end kit. And I do believe that I'm just going to order up a new E3D V6 for that thing. Though I have absolutely kicked around just putting a Bondtech on it. The
I was gonna
Bondtech
plug my
extruder.
headphones in because they are bleeping at me.
Bleep. Because you say all the swears.
So I have 32 minutes. I'm not gonna finish this. I'll come back to it on.
Did you hear what I said?
Because I say all the swears.
Because you say all the swears.
I do not. Give me 2 seconds.
So, but does anybody run swap it out for the Revo? Huh. Yeah, I didn't really think about that one. Because that would give me the option to change out the nozzles, even though I never do. Yeah, that printer is just a workhorse. I wouldn't buy a new legit V6 these days. Why not? I mean, like legit versus buying a knockoff. I've bought a few knockoffs over the years, and they're machined terribly. But I could definitely look into the Revo. I don't want to. That's one hot end you got, mister. What do you think about the cliche engine? Oh, the Mosquito hot end? I actually have a Magnum. So Slice Engineering, who is located just an hour and 15 minutes north of me, are also friends. And when I took a tour of their facility back a while ago, they actually, Dan from over there gave me a Magnum hot end for the FK1 because I wanted to be able to offer different hot end options for it, depending on how whoever wanted to build it. So I do actually have a Mosquito hot end. If I understand right, though, I would have to look at how that goes on. I think it ends up sticking down further than the E3D. I don't know. But the Revo is tempting. Does we swapped out all our V6 hot ends to Revos? So Andrew, how is the swap process? Like, I'm assuming somebody's already made all of the stuff to do it. I mean, is it bolt on? I'm not very good at making stuff, so I could see that. Andrew said the nozzle swap thing is way underestimated. Once you have a hot end that you can really swap out, you'll find yourself swapping them all the time. And I could see that. The thing is, it's a drop-in. There's a groove mount Revo, but death to groove mount. I could absolutely see if it's easy to change the nozzle, to do it, because to change the nozzle now, you got to unscrew the old one and put in the new one, and then you got to go through the whole entire reset process because you're never going to get it back where it was. So I could definitely see that. I did buy a 0.8 nozzle for the FK1 originally, and then took it back out, started to print with it and took it back out because I decided I had no business printing with a different size nozzle until I had it dialed in with a 0.4. I've never put the 0.8 back in it, but I should do that. For an i3, it's just a drop-in replacement. Brilliant. I will definitely look into that. Upgrades, even though I never print anything anymore. But I will definitely. Thanks for the input. See, that's why I do these streams, is so that you guys can spoon feed me things.
Okay, let's see if I can unload the filament.
Out of the robot? No, I'm
Yep.
just kidding. Oh, I'm excited for next weekend. For any of you guys who don't live in the Orlando area, too bad for you.
Time to move.
I mean, honestly, from a guy who's been to New York Maker Faire, Orlando Maker Faire is way better.
I can confirm that is in fact not ejecting the filament. See if I can tilt this down a little bit more, just so you guys get a little bit more of the Prusa.
I haven't double glasses in a while. It's time. I don't like that Lego doesn't print their Lego bricks anymore, that you have to put stickers on everything.
I don't want to have to take this all apart again.
Well, no, nobody ever wants to take a printer apart again. Do you think I want to tear that hot end down to fix it? No. Am I gonna? Yeah.
This is so frustrating.
So, all right. So you say it's completely jammed. Oh, that's a Bowden. I forgot that that's a Bowden printer.
Yep.
I hate Bowden. I hate Bowden so much.
Joe Bowden.
I'm going to start this speech with 2 words: made in America. Uncle Ron said, lost your goggles? No, I use those upstairs. I didn't bring them down here. I use them at my regular desk. I do more maker stuff up there than I do down here. I'm telling you, I spend literally 2 hours a week in this studio, and that's 4:30 to 6:30 on Sundays. If you want the easiest replacement for your V6, get the Kick from Repcord. He has a wire splice connector, so you don't have to fish new connectors through. I don't really like that Pooch guy. He's kind of a jerk and makes fun of my socks. I'm just kidding. I love Pooch. He did make fun of my socks, though. Gosh, and they're just socks. I don't. Call them diabetes socks. I don't got diabetes. Oh wait.
Oh wait, no, the other one. I do. What's it called when like you don't have diabetes but you do? Oh, you're diabetic. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. All right, so it's called the Kick. I will demand that he send me one for free, so that I'll trade him coverage on my YouTube channel. He'll charge me double.
And so he should.
Uncle Ron said that's called in denial.
I don't know where any of my pliers or anything are here. Dag nabbit.
Oh, Kit, not Kick. Kit from Repcord. Okay, so it's just a kit. I thought it had a cool name.
The pumped up kicks.
Yeah, apparently that Repcord guy's not very creative. Well, that's cool. I will definitely look into that. It may not happen super soon. I really don't print a lot of stuff anymore. Not that I don't want to. I just don't. I would rather just spend my hard-earned money and buy whatever it is. No, not really. So the whole lightsaber thing came about. We had, and I think I might have told this story last week. I probably told every story known to man last week, but we used to have a bunch of those ones that, you know, you fling and they telescope out.
Yep.
And I'm thinking that Zach probably took them outside to play with them and then left them out there and they just got rotted from the Florida sun because that's what it does. So he wanted to buy a new one at Target for $30, but he was also upset that it wasn't Anakin's lightsaber. And he was afraid that people were going to realize it. And I'm like, dude, when you go knock on somebody's door and you're like, trick or treat, they're not going to be like, oh, you're Anakin. Oh, but that's not Anakin's lightsaber.
And then refuse to give you candy.
Like, nobody's going to care. So, but I said to him, I said, let me see if I can find a model on one of the resources. And if I can find one and 3D print it for you, I'll do that. Because I don't want to pay $30. I mean, what did this cost? Well, really what this cost me was probably nothing. It was a sample of 3D glue, which I'm sure they gave me for free. And then, which of course they gave me a lifetime supply. They gave me a 55-gallon drum of this stuff, which I still have. I love that thing. But and the filaments, I'm 99% sure that every one of those filaments was a gift. I know the AIO robotic stuff. They had sent me, like when they first released their silks and stuff, they had given me those. I may have actually bought the black because it's the big roll, and those were always very limited. So I'd buy those when those came about. So the whole thing might have cost me, you know, less than $1 with electricity and all. So that was way better than paying $30 for a store-bought one that wasn't even the right one, and he was never going to use it again anyway. So kudos to me. And he's thrilled that it's actually Anakin's lightsaber. Of course, now, you know, I have to go back and dig around and see if James actually released one.
I'm thinking now that maybe I didn't release it publicly, so don't.
Oh, I'm still going to go digging. It better be there. It better be there, or I'm canceling my Patreon.
Oh, okay. Sorry to see you go.
Glad to know that my Patreon is so important to you. So James and I both subscribe to each other's Patreon for $1. So really the only one that's making out there is Patreon.
Boy, howdy are they.
They get to keep the fees.
Well, I burned like 10 minutes so far and made it no closer to being done. Isn't that the way she goes?
Can you pop the Bowden tube off of the hot end and like manually?
No, it's all stuck in there right now. I can't get anything free.
Huh.
So what I'm going to have to do is do a bunch of disassembly I didn't want to do.
Look at Uncle Ron super spoon feeding me, giving me links right to this stuff. This site better not be a virus. Well, that's pretty amazing. Only thing is, I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money on the 3D printer. I could buy a whole printer for that. Well, there's your problem, lady. Yeah, I might have to make that happen after the first of the year.
Oh. Getting too old for this stuff. I censored that line.
I just have way too much stuff on my plate is my problem.
So I feel.
It doesn't have anything to do with my addiction to Red Dead Online.
Oh no, of course not. Everything else is the problem.
That's
It doesn't
right.
give you enough time for Red Dead Redemption.
I haven't gotten to play today. I was going to play this morning, and I started writing that response for Twitter that I didn't post yet.
It may not post apparently.
No, I don't know. I don't know if it's necessary. I mean, I kind of aired my beef here. I guess if anybody wants to know what I think about it, they can go back and watch this stream. Yeah, I was going to start putting up, not necessarily putting up Christmas lights, but I was going to start getting ready yesterday. I was going to mow the grass because I have to give it one good mowing before the stuff starts to come out, because once all the cords are on the ground, obviously I can't mow my grass anymore. So it was wet. It was very wet and dewy in the morning. So I decided to go ahead and play a little Red Dead while I was waiting for the sun to come out and the grass to dry. It's only funny to me because I really fully understand addiction, and I know I'm addicted, and I'm not going to do anything about it. Hey, the first step to recovery is admitting you have a problem. Nobody ever talks about the second step. But yeah, so all of a sudden, like, I don't know, 40 minutes later, it was like pouring rain outside. And I was like,
Oh,
huh?
it's a sign from God.
Yeah, I was like, oh no. I guess I have to keep playing Red Dead.
Well, because you don't want to start anything else that you can't walk away from, and then it stops raining, and you suddenly have the perfect opportunity. So,
Yeah, gosh, yeah. Chris Lane said, haven't played Red Dead Online, but love single player, both 1 and 2. Really wish they'd release 1 for the PC. Yeah, they were talking about it, and then they backed out because they're putting, of course, they stopped doing updates for 2 because all hands on deck for getting GTA 6 out now. But what platform do you play on, Chris? We could use more people in our posse. So Xander and I were playing last night, and we were just messing around. We're always in a posse together, and then we have a third member too, but he wasn't there last night. It was just the two of us, and it was about 9:30. And Xander said to me, "I'm only going to play for another half hour, and then I have to go to bed." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, that makes sense. We got church in the morning." And so we're in one of the towns, and we end up what help me understand. We're in one of the towns, and we meet up with these other guys, and they ask us to join their posse, and so we do. Did I put those? Yeah, I put those on wrong. Did I? No. So it was the biggest posse that I've ever been a part of. There was like 5 or 6 of us, and we were just absolutely wreaking havoc. Now, Xander and I, we kind of have a rule. Really, I have a rule, and Xander hates to abide by it, but we don't start anything. Like, we don't go into the town and just bully people to make them shoot us so that we can have a battle. We just kind of act normal, and we wait for that guy that's a jerk to shoot us first. And so we end up in this posse last night, and it was a bunch of guys from Brazil. So they did speak English, but they would speak a lot of Spanish that we didn't understand. And then when they would speak to us, they would speak in English. So they were probably kind of making fun of us too. But no, we had a great time with them. And and we pretty much just went around bullying people. So if you were playing Red Dead last night, Red Dead Online, and you were being bullied by some guys from Brazil, sorry, but it was a good time. And so when Xander said, like, it's just another half hour, we didn't get off there until 11:30. It was 2 hours from the point he said he was only going to play for another half hour. So it's not just me. Oh, Chris said he has the PS4. They don't do cross-platform, which makes sense because if you're on the PlayStation and then the PC people are cheating, which they do, jerks, then it's no fun.
They use that cheat where they're better than Glenn, which Glenn feels is impossible. Ergo hacks.
No, legitimately, there's mods and stuff that you can run. You'll be riding your horse and all of a sudden it'll blow up. Like somebody just explodes your horse, which is always fun.
Explode a horse. Explode
I realize that my horse is a digital entity and doesn't actually exist, but I still have a connection to him. Like that's my horse. I don't want anybody blowing it up. This is weird. I have a lot of parts left over and it kind of scares me. Like way too many parts. Like I missed something. Huh. That's the problem with building Lego while you're talking. Brazilians speak Portuguese. Okay, well, I didn't understand Portuguese either. It's all gibberish to me, Felipe. No, they were a lot of fun. Like we were just hanging out. We were just hanging out in this town, in one of the towns. For those of you who play, it was Valentine. And like another posse had come in. We weren't part of their posse yet, and another posse had come in and started causing all kinds of problems. And they were like, "Hey, help us out!" We were like, we were already chatting with them. They're like, "Help us out!" And we're like, "We can't. We don't know who the bad guy is at that point." And it's all Greek to me, pretty much. And so then they said, "Well, join our posse." And we were like, "Okay, cool." So we played for a while, and then a modder came into town and just started messing everything up. And it was lagging so bad; it was like 3 frames per second. It was awful. And so we stole the train and got out of there and went down to Saint Denis, for those of you who play, and just had a good time down in Saint Denis. And then we came across a modder who was playing as a dog. He was playing as a Labrador, or they were. I don't know if it was a he or she. They were playing as a modder, and of course, there's no girl gamers. And so, like, we were just kind of goofing around with that particular player because it was cool that they were a dog. And then something happened where the cops came. Somebody accidentally or on purpose got shot in the face, and then there's all kinds of cops coming, and so all of a sudden the dog starts pooping sticks of dynamite and gold bars, which was kind of fun. So, sometimes there are people who have the mods that are cool about it, but most of the time they're just kind of jerks. Oh, that's where they go. I missed whatever step that was, but that's where the parts go. I'm good now.
I don't think these are gonna have enough of a. I can't find pliers, and I'm desperate to get this done in time.
Just use your teeth. It's fine.
If I could get my teeth in where they needed to be, maybe.
My mom always said, just use your teeth. She would scream at me if I used my. Don't use your teeth.
Yeah, but they're so convenient. They're right there. I'm having a day.
When you have a bad day.
Followed by another bad day, and they're all bad days, and you get in the days.
Welcome to Fun King 3D, the Lego assembly channel. I still haven't taken my big spaceship in yet because I don't know where to put it in my house.
Spaceship?
Red light Mike is ducking out. Thanks for being here, Mike.
Thanks for hanging out, Mike.
Well, it's been an exciting show. We've had celebrities here, and
Oh, there's something I can use as pliers. Pliers.
did they not make the doors open on this? I don't think they did. Slackers. I mean, how hard could that have been?
A good question.
What's that?
I said that's a good question.
I mean, they're just like the most funky scissor lift doors ever. Yeah, Maker Faire came up really fast to me this year. Like, I mean, it was just like boom here. It's really at the worst time of the year for me, but I can't expect them to move it just for me. And at least, I mean, hopefully, as of right now, the weather is a little bit cooler at least. It was only 80 degrees in the garage today. Still stuffy and muggy, but and of course, I only went in there long enough to give Uncle Ron an update on everything that's going on in there. So the next project will be starting soon. I have to get with the current owner of the automobile and finalize some paperwork, and then make that happen.
We got 7 minutes left to make this happen.
Really, we only have 7 minutes. Man, 2 hours went by fast today. It goes by a lot slower when you have to talk by yourself.
Well, the good news is, so I don't know if there's originally a thermal compound applied to this heat break either, and I don't know if I should put something on it.
Yeah, usually there is a little bit, and I think it's really just to keep it from seizing. But a little bit on the it's the one with the divot in it, right?
The divot?
It's threaded, but it's got like a cut all the way around it.
No, this one is not threaded. It slides in, and then there's locking bolts.
Oh, then I don't know.
But I think I have.
I don't know. I'm just making it up as I go. So Carl asked, "Is this a Lego Mustang?" It is not. It is a Lego Lamborghini Countach, one of the all-time greats as far as I'm concerned. And Andrew said, "Dude, you have no idea. We're so unprepared. You guys are never unprepared for these. You guys go in with such like super professional looking booths and stuff, like you're a business or something."
I was gonna say I don't have a thermal paste that would be a good match for this, but I do have this.
Oh, that'll work.
Yep.
Look, a little plug for Slice Engineering. Like them guys.
Probably not supposed to touch this with my fingers, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the right thing and touch it with my fingers.
Yeah, you just got to make sure you lick it off when you're done.
I feel like this is gonna be one of those ones where it like yep.
Where nothing comes out and then it all comes out?
It squirted straight up and then landed on the bed right there. So I got that to look forward to later, which
That's
is
fun, yeah.
I'm not actually I'm gonna avoid actively touching this with my fingers for anybody that's concerned.
Touching what?
The paste.
Does it really matter? I touch thermal compound all the time.
Well, this is a different high temperature one. I'm not. It's boron nitrate paste.
Oh, that's completely edible.
Okay, here. Oh boy, here I go eating random compounds again.
Boron?
Yeah, it's like moron, but with a B.
Right, boron nitrate?
Boron nitrate paste, yeah.
They'll probably tell me before I even get there.
Just ask it in chat. They'll tell you the whole thing.
The other Andrew just replaced the rear differential on our haul vehicle. It blew up on the way home from Earth. Oh, that sounds fun. Boron nitride is a thermally and chemically resistant Andrew should be able to tell us if this is good or bad. Boron and nitrogen with the chemical formula BN. It exists in various crystallines, blah, blah, blah. Can you eat it, though? I mean, I'm sure you can't, but...
I'm sure that's not recommended at the very least.
Is boron nitrate poisonous? Now, that's a good question to ask. The material as sold in solid form are generally not considered hazardous. However, if the process involves grinding, melting, cutting, or any other process that causes a release of dust or fumes, hazardous levels of airborne particles could be generated. Well, that doesn't really tell you anything because this is a paste. Exposure to large amounts of boron, about 30 grams of boric acid over short periods of time, can affect the stomach, intestines, liver, kidney, and brain, and can eventually lead to death. Well, now, what would they consider eventually? Because breathing eventually is going to lead to death. Does boron boost testosterone? Wait a minute, you might want to eat that. So I'm not really getting a straight answer, but I'm going to say no, don't eat it. Our bot is back, and that's the same one. I mean, they might have changed the handle, but
I'm actually concerned now that the Bowden tube in here is actually not long enough, and it might be moving, which is just going to exacerbate the situation. So I have to go see if I can find a piece of Bowden tube that I can swap this out with.
Andrew said boron nitrate is pretty stable and non-hazardous. The issue is the binder that is used in the compound. So again, we're sticking with don't eat it, right?
I can just come back with it like all over my face and be like, oh, I went a different route.
Local Maker Michigan said, I added a note to my order. Andrew Mail telling Pooch this order was your fault. That's brilliant. Oh.
Well, I got a chunk of cap tubing, so maybe. I don't know if that fits down in there though.
I'm a little disappointed. So I mean, while this is pretty cool, like they have you build the doors, and the doors do swing, but the doors on a Countach don't swing.
Are they what's it called?
They're usually scissor doors. They're not going. If that's what you're looking for.
Is that what's on the DeLorean? Gullwing?
Yes. And also a couple of Mercedes have those as well. And Tesla. Didn't Tesla do a gullwing and then decided that was stupid?
Probably.
Terrible to get into.
Actually, I saw one.
Green.
Now that you say that, I saw one this week with the gull wings on them.
Yeah. Hey, go to get in there when it's raining? Nope. Bad deal.
Okay, well, the good news is the cap tubing fits. The bad news is I'm a terrible individual.
John Strand said, you're still going? Yeah, they make me. They make me be here every week. Oh, wait, no, that's me that makes me. It is 6:29.
Oh, give me maybe 1 minute late tonight. I'm going to see if I can. I just kind of.
I don't know. Your wife called me earlier and told me that if you were late one more time, she wasn't letting you do this anymore.
So that would give you more time for Red Dead Redemption. So you're just going to let me carry on, aren't you?
I can't tell you how many times I thought, oh, just start a gaming channel. Just put it on Fun King Replay. So I'm sure that you know this. I think everybody who has a YouTube channel knows this by now, that YouTube is now doing these @ names
Yeah, I forget what they call them, but yes.
Handles. Your YouTube handle. So I got the 10,000 emails that said, "Hey, this is coming, and you're
Yep.
going to get to pick your handle." And if you already have a channel name, chances are that's what we're going to pick for your handle. Though we would give you an opportunity to change it, one time ever, whatever. So, Fun King 3Ds came up available. Like, they sent me an email and said, "Hey, it's your turn to pick your handle." So of course I got the Fun King 3D. That's great. And then I got one that said, "Hey, you're eligible to pick your handle." And I went, and it was for my personal account, which thanks to like the 7 of you that subscribe there. I don't know why you do, but thanks anyway. I don't generally post stuff there, but then I get an email that was sent to the Fun King Garage account, and it said, "You're you're eligible to pick your handle." And I'm like, "Great, that's the one I was worried most about." Hop over there. Nope, it's for Fun King Replay, which has like 7 subscribers. Thank you, 7 that subscribed. And again, I don't have the link to that. It's eventually going to be youtube.com/Fun King Replay, but we're still visiting that. They still haven't made the one available for Fun King Garage. And it's like, come on. I mean, I understand Fun King 3D coming up first. They had the most subscribers out of all of them. But why would they give it to me for Fun King Replay when it has like 7 subscribers and 0 content?
Because it's your highest quality. It's your highest quality channel.
Brilliant you. Brilliant you. No,
Can I just
if I'm done with it?
Can I just say that I actually have a shot at hitting 1,000 subscribers on Print and Play Retrospective by the end of the year.
I think you have a great shot of that.
I'm assuming it won't happen because it's something I would really like. But there is a chance. Not that I'm asking anybody to like go and subscribe, because like the one thing is that you need active viewers, right? Like
right,
you can have 1 million subscribers and a useless channel. So definitely this right around, the number of people that on my main channel is like, oh yeah, I went in and subscribed my parents to you and my friends from high school and
right. That first 100 everybody struggles for because you want to secure your name.
Yeah.
You want to establish who you are, but it is absolutely critical to only have subscribers who are actually going to watch your content, or it actually hurts more.
Yeah.
The organic growth on YouTube is actually very important.
Yep.
So everybody right now go unsubscribe from his retrospective channel. No.
Just do me a solid. Pretend I don't exist. Okay. So
I know it'll be a stretch, but pretend like you hate me.
Okay, so I have now torn this thing apart, put it back together. I've added thermal paste. I replaced the Bowden tube, which might have been causing some issue. Like there's another section of Bowden tube inside the hot end that sort of like clears from here down to here. So I've gone ahead and wow.
Nice clean cuts in the Bowden tube.
I'm gonna go with cleanish. I don't have any idea where my tool is for properly doing it. So it was cut them in such a way that it flattened them and then use a pair of pliers to reform them back to the proper shape, and then make sure filament passes through them.
That's questionable at best.
I went ahead and did the right thing and pretended that I didn't see myself do that.
I did the right thing. It's just so
I guess the first question will be, can I push any filament through? That's what we're hoping for.
Is it hot?
It's feeling hot. Oh, it's doing that thing now where it's waiting for the bed to hit 60 and it's holding the hot end at like 166.
That's a thing?
On the Mini, it heats the nozzle up to like 165, 166, and then waits for the bed to finish catching up before it heats the nozzle the rest of the way.
Huh. Is that so that they can use a smaller power supply? Like a less wattage power supply?
Or maybe so the hot end's just not just sitting there hot for no good
Like
reason.
cooking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew said, well, guys got to head off to do actual work. It's Sunday. Don't work on a Sunday. I mean, except next weekend. Look forward to seeing you, brother. Absolutely look forward to seeing you. Chris Lane said, if you don't have the right tool, use an X-Acto knife and carefully saw the boat in two until it cuts through. Yeah, until I got my one from, now their name is escaping me. And I almost asked you if you put that brand on. What's the blue tube?
Capricorn?
Capcom, yeah.
Capricorn.
Capricorn?
Capricorn.
Yeah. I have a cutter from them. Of course, I don't know where it is right now. But before that, I just used a safety razor or a machete, whatever I had handy. John Strand asks, am I going to Orlando Maker Fair? Twice. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. I will be out just meandering around. I'm not exhibiting, but my home base will be the 3D Gloop booth. And you can't miss it. They have such a fancy booth. So I was actually working it last year. I mean, they were so busy. There were so many people, and they were working it. I was over there selling stuff. I was like, dude, buy this. And they're like, no. And I'm like, buy this or I'm going to beat you.
Well, you can't see it from there, but it is in fact extruding. So
what's that?
It is extruding plastic right now.
Well, that's a benefit.
It is a friend with benefit. So now I got to do the, what do you call it there? The calibration for the Z-axis. Last time I didn't even get through the
live Z.
Yeah. First layer calibration.
Well, awesome. John Strand's going to be there. Are you going to be there Saturday or Sunday or both? If you're going to be there on Saturday, make plans to stay after because we go to dinner and have, I was going to say we have farts. we have the event known as Farts, which is the Florida area Rep Rap talking supper, where we go to Golden Corral and all you can eat. Like we just can eat whatever you want. It's probably just Saturday. Well, that's the best day to be there. Saturday is actually the best day to be there. It's the most busy, but it seems like because it's the first day, like there's some stuff that happens Friday night, for the people setting up, but Saturday is the first day of the event. And so everybody's like still super excited to show off everything. Sunday morning, everybody's pretty exhausted. Now we roll back clocks this weekend, don't we? Do you guys do that in Canada? You guys have that daylight savings time garbage?
We do indeed.
It's just dumb. So Florida voted to get rid of it, but then decided not to get rid of it this year.
So it will happen just eventually.
Yeah, they'll get around to it. I don't know. It's just kind of dumb to have to adjust your time. I've been I don't use an alarm clock. This isn't a braggy thing. It's just the way my brain is. I don't use an alarm clock. I can literally tell myself, okay, I need to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I wake up roughly 6 o'clock the next morning. I don't know how I do it. It just happens. I have a great internal clock. But so over the last couple of weeks, what I've been doing is letting myself sleep just a little longer, just 5-6 minutes for a couple days, like this, so that I can get used to waking up a little bit later. I realized I could still get up earlier, which is how I ended up on the work schedule I'm on now. I used to work 8 to 4, and so at one point daylight savings time hit, and I just went to work in 7 to 3 instead, and then I stayed at that. So I don't want to get up an hour earlier, and I could play Red Dead in the morning.
Paul Comber has wandered into chat and asked how you were doing.
Well, he's been here for a while, but he just hasn't been talky. So
And
I've been good, Paul. I mean, everything on my end is it's pretty hunky dory. I can't complain.
And it is jammed.
Oh, it jammed?
Yep.
Click, 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 click.
So
what would happen if you raise the Z like a decent distance above the bed, centimeter or whatever? Will it still click?
It's not even close to the bed at this point.
So I wonder if it's not really a jamming problem as much as maybe like the extruder motor's not pushing, because I mean that's what's clicking, right?
I keep ending up with like little nubs and stuff at the end. I don't know.
But if it's not pushing, you're gonna have little nubs at the end. Can you push it manually through the extruder motor, through the E motor?
No, because it's like there's no. It isn't one of the ones where you like pinch it to release or whatever.
Yeah,
But
I'm not real familiar with that printer, so you just have to excuse my dumb questions.
I think well, I mean that's the end of our stream for today anyway. So I'm good. How are you, Paul? That's the extruder. John asked what the clicky sound is. It's the extruder skipping because it clogged almost immediately.
Yeah, what that clicking is the sound of failure, unfortunately.
I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed indeed.
I wonder if there's somebody you could reach out to at support.
I don't like bugging Shane.
I know you don't like to bug Shane.
I also don't like it. I also don't like running into problems on 3D printers that I can't solve myself. It frustrates me. Like I don't mind Googling and stuff like that. I hate bugging people like Shane being like, "Hey, I need this to be fixed up for me."
Yeah, but it's not bugging. It's what he does for a living.
Okay, if I go to set calibration, first layer calibration.
I mean, he literally lives to help you solve your problem.
That's what they tell me.
He also really likes it if you don't give him all the details of your problem.
Just add a little variety to it.
Yeah, and then also don't actually, like when he suggests something, don't actually do what he suggests. Just do something similar to it and tell him that's, that you tried that instead.
I'm trying one more calibrate. Like I don't know why I'm bothering at this point because it you know what I mean, like it extruded when it was heated and everything was fine. It's not
cooling down a little, is it? Turn the heat up. Turn it up another 5 degrees or so. I have better luck with a hotter nozzle.
The calibration thing on this too. So the bed was heated to 60. The extruder is heated to 215.
Nah, go 225. Crank that crap up.
No, so here's the thing. For the first layer calibration, I don't think I can adjust it unless I switch materials that I'm printing out of it. But I had it set to 215.
Doesn't make sense because not all PLAs use the same temperatures.
I think I can then select because I think it's like got a list of different.
Now, is that the Jesse PLA? Is that the same Jesse PLA?
No, I switched to some Sunlu or the plus PLA plus stuff.
Well, PLA plus generally uses more heat.
All that to say, actually, I don't remember what I was saying now. Oh, yeah. So I had everything heated, and it then turned the nozzle off and told it to cool down to 170, and it didn't start doing the Z probing until it was at 170, and now it's heating it back up again. So,
Huh. Yeah, 170 is way too cold as far as I'm concerned.
it won't start at 170. It cooled it down to 170 and didn't try to do an extrusion. It just shows that's the temperature it does at.
To probe.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is. I mean, I'm sure they have their reasons. Those guys over there are pretty smart. Don't tell them I said that, though.
There, got squish.
Scott asked, did you adjust the heat break for the gap?
I did.
If you push through without the Bowden tube, what happens? Like push direct slowly.
I mean, it extrudes, but like, and I got a bunch extruded the last time too, and then when I went to start doing the, I guess after it sat and soaked for a little bit temperature wise, right? Like, so it's going through you can probably see it's going through the Z calibration right now, right, where you adjust the squish level.
I'll throw you up full screen.
You can see it here.
Yep. Yeah, it seems to be extruding there, no problem, right?
Yeah.
And how are you as far as firmware update?
I think I've updated.
That's the problem. I'm just thinking,
I think I've updated once since I got it, so.
Just wondering if there's something in a in a fresher update that might be.
Okay.
Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
I definitely have. Okay, so I got through that. I have a pretty good first layer thing over here, so that was a thing that happened.
Scott said the business with the Mini always dropping to 170 drives me nuts.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a reason for it. They would never just randomly do that. Never ever. No, again, those guys are pretty smart. They come up with some pretty ingenious things.
I wonder if they've had issues with it sitting at temperature for too long and causing jams, so they just put, okay, well, we'll put it so it's not sitting at full temperature for.
But that doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't it probe before it ever brought it up to temperature then? I mean, or bring it up to temperature, or bring it up to the temperature that they need, probe it, and then continue bringing it up to temperature.
I don't think my answer's through before I say them. I just say whatever comes off the top of my head. So why you got to at me like that?
You use too big of words. I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, well, that being said, this was somewhat successful. I don't think anything will be successful going forward because, as I said, that's something that would be good for me and therefore probably illegal. I'm trying to figure out where I put the USB key that I had specifically. Oh, there it is. Found it. Okay, let's. I'm gonna have to disappear as soon as I log off. I promised I wouldn't be late today, and then here I go being late again.
Yep, she's learning to expect it now.
Yeah.
John says probably to keep it from oozing during probing, which is very possible.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And Scott said there's a lot of mini things that would be good for newcomer, but drives a grizzled vet nuts. I didn't make it all the way through my my Lamborghini Countach, although I'm very close.
You know, when I was younger, this is my dad's favorite story to tell about me. When I was younger, we went into a model store, and they had a Lamborghini Countach model, and it was, I think, $20. And I thought I had $20 on me, and I didn't have the tax. So my dad was waiting in the car while my brother and I were in the place, and I walked out and I said, "Dad, there's a model in there I want, but I don't have quite enough money for it." So my dad gets out of the car and comes in to get it for me to cover the difference, and I had about 45 cents on me.
Oh, you didn't even have the 20 bucks.
I didn't have the $20. I think I had like spent it earlier that day and just like kind of like forgotten, as kids do. So my dad's like, yeah, I didn't even have enough to cover the tax. Oh, I'm just a little short, Dad.
My best friend for the longest time, he would it didn't matter. We'd be like, let's go get some dinner, and we'd take off to go to the restaurant, and every time he'd go, oh, I forgot my wallet. Every time. So, you dirty dog.
Okay, well, I think I'm gonna have to wrap things up here now because I can hear that my wife has got things ready to go upstairs. So
Stomping around and pissed off.
yeah, nope, not yet. Just want to not get to that point, you know. Know your limit, play within it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here today. I know I didn't really do any maker stuff today, but that's all right. I was just gonna play with the laser, and I wanted to cut some plexiglass, but I didn't get around to getting it lined up. So I didn't. And here we are. I'm just, building a Lamborghini Countach. Again, as a quick reminder, there will not be a live stream next week because I will be at Orlando Maker Fair at the Central Florida Fairgrounds. So if you are in the Orlando area, and by that I mean like even clear up to Atlanta where Felipe comes from, think about coming and joining us next weekend. It is really a fantastic Maker Fair. And you'll get to meet the Andrews and John Strand and Chris Lane and Felipe.
And not me.
And not James, because he just won't come to Florida.
I mean, maybe one day.
Yeah. Uncle Ron was going to be there, but unfortunately, because of his dad's health, that doesn't look like it's going to happen. So we do, of course, wish Poppy Ron well. You got anything you want to plug?
If you didn't get a chance to go look at the IBM PC convertible video and you're into retro electronics, then I'd be ever so grateful if you went and give it a view. And
that's a good plug.
That's pretty much it. I think my next video on the main channel is going to be a review on this tiny little handheld that I actually meant to talk about today. Oh, it's already plugged again.
Really?
Yeah, it's already clogged. Let's go ahead and hit the pause button. I'm just curious. I'm getting Tronksy feelings right now.
Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I should have a video out on Friday. Red Dead Redemption willing. If you are a Red Dead Redemption 2 online player and you play on the PC, hit me up. Love to get you to join in. We have a good time. Builder's Mark says he's going to suggest to you to swap the hot ends completely on a brand new printer, though. That's
yeah, no. If I have to go that route, I'm just not going to use this anymore. I have no desire to continue printing with something that I bought specifically to be reliable if I've got to immediately replace the whole hot end assembly on it.
Well, I honestly think that you need to reach out to support whether you want to or not.
Yep.
I mean, we have friends there, this isn't just a random support guy.
I know.
This is family. So, and I'm sure that they'll take good care of you. And if they don't, we'll talk bad about them, and I'll stop saying that they're a bunch of smart people. But all right, let's wrap it up. I don't want your wife to be mad, not let you do this anymore. So thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in. As you know, I always say, if it wasn't for you, these streams would be useless because it would literally be just James and I talking to each other. And we don't actually do that unless we're on these streams. So
it's true.
Thank you. No stream next weekend. We'll see you in 2 weeks with updates from Orlando Maker Fair. And until next time, as always, print on.
Print on.